Whoa, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, True. Yes, it is pronounced True. Why the hell has Gammajack been trending? First Incredible movies came out a long time ago. The fact that Gammajack is even a trending topic is actually insane. But fine, let's talk about him. Let's talk about him. Hey, how y'all talk about Gammajack? Y'all make it seem like he solos the verse, and he doesn't. And I'm finna prove it to you. I custom picked like 10 superheroes that may or may not have a decent chance of Gammajack, right? So for the people, you know what? Never mind. I was about to explain. For the people who don't know who Gammajack is, if you don't know who Gammajack is, right click on the fucking video. Anyways, without further ado, let's go and get into it. First of all, the picture got cut off a little bit, but this is Invincible. So I don't really think that there really is a whole lot of talking when it comes down to can Invincible beat Gammajack. So yeah, Invincible, yeah. Oh my fucking god, bro. It wouldn't even be close. Invincible solos the Incredibles verse like 10 times over again. I just have to put Invincible in him since he's one of the more popular trending superhero characters, but at least we got to listen, we gotta get that one out the way, okay? Next one is Firestorm. The reason why I put Firestorm is because Gammajack kind of sort of reminds me a little bit of Firestorm from DC. Now I don't think it matters which version you want to use, whether it's his TV series adaptation or the comic book adaptation. I think both of them slam. I didn't watch the TV series that closely. Shit, we can use the one from Injustice, to be honest with you. I don't really think it matters in any of them. Maybe like at the lowest, like the Injustice and TV series one, it may be like a 50-50, like if you highball the shit out of Gammajack, but realistically speaking, it's Gammajack. No, I know it's gonna be another motherfucking god. I ain't gonna lie to you, actually. Alright, now we're kind of entering more of a territory to where I think Gammajack may actually realistically stand a chance. So let's talk about the soups that popped up, in this universe, the supers that popped up at Mr. Incredible's house, and Frozone had to defend the kids. Could Gammajack solo these supers? Now, keep in mind, not even Frozone could solo all of these soups, and Frozone and Gammajack's stats is actually closer to what you think it is, and we're going to talk about that when we get to Frozone. Now I do think that Gammajack has a better power than Frozone, to be honest with you, and Frozone wasn't exactly trying to kill them. He was just trying to, you know, resist them and kind of sort of hold them back just to save the kids. Now the reason why Gammajack is trending in the first place is because people say that Gammajack is the incredible version of Homelander, because in its description it says that he is prone to tyrannical or mega maniacal thoughts and blah blah blah. He believes supers are the superior race. So if Gammajack is in a situation, he would most likely try to kill them, and he definitely has the powers to do so, as in his power description it says that he can do anywhere from focus beams to complete disintegration. And I do think that him wanting to kill will probably make a big difference. So honestly, I'm going to say it's 50-50, because on one side, him and Frozone's stats is pretty even. Now, Gammajack can fly, so that may make a difference as far as like how the battle goes. But at the same time, though, some of these supers could probably counter his flight. But his bloodthirsty desire to want to kill them most likely will make a big difference. So I can kind of see him being bloodthirsty and killing them, because he's not going to hold back like Frozone. But at the same time, I can kind of see that him and Frozone's stats is pretty similar and equal. So even if he wanted to kill him, he probably still wouldn't be able to solo all of them in the first. Now we got Frozone. Now let's talk about the stats here for a second, man. So let's look at Frozone's stats, bro. Frozone power type is pretty high. Strength is not that high. Endurance is not that high. His intelligence is not high. Oh, I'm sorry. His intelligence is high. Agility is even higher, and his indestructibility is So I want you to take a good look at their stats right here. Get a good look at it. This is Gammajack's stat. So clearly he isn't as indestructible as Frozone. Doesn't have quite the agility as Frozone. Their intelligence is around the same level. Also, it's not really that strong or doesn't have that much endurance, but his power type is maxed out. It is pretty much maxed out, because his power, he can just completely disintegrate somebody. So both of their stats is honestly pretty, like it's not that big of a difference, honestly. Like Frozone has more agility, but I would even argue, does he really though? Because like Frozone, you know, he can like turn the water, turn the ground to ice and slide, but Gammajack can just flat out fly. So it's like, is he really though? You know, now Gammajack does not have the durability like how Frozone does, and it's crazy because I wouldn't even look at Frozone as a character who's that durable, but somehow, some way, Gammajack is even less durable than that. But his power type is way higher than Frozone, so I would still say that for the most part, the stats is pretty even. I don't know. This it's a little bit tough, to be honest with you. I damn well want to put Frozone in 50-50 as well, to be honest. Like, I want to give a definite answer to the characters in his own verse, but the truth is that we don't even know that much about Gamma Jack to be able to come to a concrete conclusion on whether or not he will be able to win or not. So I'm going to put it in 50-50, man, because it's like they have a similar stats. I mean, one way I can see Frozone winning, because somehow, some way, Gamma Jack is less durable than him, so he would just kind of be a glass cannon, and that would be a big weakness against a fight like Frozone. Let's just take in consideration that his agility is that much better than Gamma Jack's. You know, Gamma Jack can fucking fly. But at the same time, I really see Gamma Jack probably winning because he can fly. His radiation blast maybe it'll just completely cut through Frozone's fucking ice, and then with him having that bloodthirsty mentality, I think that he's not gonna hold back like how Frozone probably would. But we don't know enough. I will probably, you know what? How about this? I want to give a definite answer. I would say that Gamma Jack probably has a better chance of killing Frozone than Frozone has a better chance of killing Gamma Jack. So I'm going to put Gamma Jack at a mid-diff. Really, it's going to be a high diff. It's going to be an extreme high diff W. Hang on. We're going to make a new tier for that. Yeah, we're going to make a whole new tier for that. We're going to put Frozone at extremely high diff W, bro. Like, I really think it's more leaning towards 50-50, but if Gamma Jack were to be Frozone, it would definitely be the highest difficulty it possibly could be. Next, we have Soulja Boy. Now, of course, if we're talking about soups and supers, we got to talk about the boys. I think the boys universe is probably the perfect universe for you. I may even do a video about Gamma Jack versus the entire boys universe if you guys really want me to, depending on how good this video does too, by the way. Soulja Boy. Now, Soulja Boy also kind of has a form of radiation blast. I don't think it's nowhere near as good as Gamma Jack's. And yes, Soulja Boy's radiation blast can remove superpowers, which if you want to use the crossverse settings, you could say you can remove Gamma Jack's powers. But the problem is that, in my opinion, Soulja Boy low-key is kind of a fraud, to be honest with you, because that explosion he does out of his chest, it only worked against people who was caught off guard, right? Every time he tried to use it offensively in a real fight, it took too long to charge, and people just kind of got around it. He couldn't hit Homelander with it. Homelander flew off about time he got a chance to do it, right? And then we tried to use it against fucking the boys, right? It took too long, and Creed Maeve knocked him out the fucking window. So I don't see him having the time to build up a blast to hit Gamma Jack. He can fly away. He can probably counter his own radiation blast. So I don't think the blast is really going to do much for Soulja Boy's defense. Now, I doubt Gamma Jack can fight, but if I'm being real with you, you would think if the Soulja Boy has better hand-to-hand combat, he would beat Gamma Jack, but like, would he really though? Because if Soulja Boy fought against Homelander, someone who also can't fight either. Matter of fact, Homelander hasn't even been in that many fights in his life because of how strong he is, right? And him and Homelander was damn near even in hand-to-hand combat. I mean, they literally got into a literal fist fight, right? And it was shown that there was, matter of fact, Homelander kind of won the fist fight, and there was like no powers being used. It wasn't like Homelander just overpowered him by for pure strength or anything like that. That was just straight hands. And Soulja Boy should have had the upper hand, but he didn't. So, and Homelander can't really fight, but somehow, some way he was capable of holding his own against Soulja Boy. So unless you want to say Gamma Jack is completely as an amateur fighting, maybe then Soulja Boy can just flat out beat his ass, but I don't think it would come down to it being as simple as just beating his ass. High key, I'm actually going to say that Gamma Jack probably would be Soulja Boy, honestly. I really do think he would. I don't even think he'll be, I think Gamma Jack will probably struggle more with Frozone than what he probably would with Soulja Boy. So I'm going to put it at mid-diff W, honestly. I know a lot of Soulja Boy fans going to be mad at me, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Itadori, I ain't going to lie to you. For the sake of like Gamma Jack's well-being and Gamma Jack's mental health, we're just gonna talk about just Itadori. We're not even gonna do Sukuna. Like, man, we're not gonna do that. Okay. I don't think there's even much to really say here, bro. Gamma Jack loses. I don't think it would be like a complete like OMFG like how these two would, but I do think it would be a flat out Gamma Jack does lose, even if it is just regular Itadori. Now, Itadori does have the fucking combat ability to flat out beat his ass. Itadori is definitely fast enough to be able to catch Gamma Jack and whoop his ass. So yeah, I don't really think that Gamma Jack's winning against Itadori. Now this is, again, got cut off. This is Deku, but more specifically, this is season 1 Deku. Anything past season 1, Gamma Jack is definitely losing. So season 1 Deku, even when he couldn't even control One For All, they have these very low percentages. Deku is smart enough, and even with One For All, has the pure raw strength that I do think he will be strong enough to defeat. Now, of course, Gamma Jack could disintegrate Deku, but I still think that a season 1 Deku could beat Gamma Jack. I think that it will probably be, Gamma Jack will lose. I think that it will probably be a little bit more of a contested fight, honestly, but either way I go, Gamma Jack will probably lose against a season 1 Deku. The Thunderbolts. Now, I want to clarify something here. Let's say the Thunderbolts. We're not talking about the Thunderbolts including Sentry. No. I just thought about something. What the fuck is my tag at? My fucking tag wasn't on the screen. Holy shit. Anyways, I'm not talking about the Thunderbolts with Sentry because, clearly, Sentry was just, you know. Anyways, but we're just talking about the Thunderbolts, the core cast without Sentry. Yeah. I'm gonna be so for real with you. The Thunderbolts may be the sorriest group of niggas ever assembled. And I like them from a personality standpoint. But from an actual combat standpoint, they may be the sorry group of niggas like ever. I'm pretty sure that if you probably put them in like a certain block in Chicago, they probably wouldn't come out on top. So yeah, I do think that Gamma Jack will solo the Thunderbolts. I don't really think there's too much there. I think that he would just disintegrate most of them, to be honest with you. Yeah, I wouldn't. Is it an ECW? Would I say it'd be an easy W for Gamma Jack? Would it be an easy W for Gamma Jack? For the sake of like arguments, yeah, sure. I'm gonna say Gamma Jack will probably get an easy W against the Thunder, but without Sentry. Of course, with Sentry, it's just clearly the lopsided. Iron Man, yeah. Honestly, and we're not gonna talk about comic. Let's just keep it at MCU level. There's no need to murder Gamma Jack like that. Let's just talk about a regular, plain MCU Iron Man. Yeah, it's still gonna be an OMFG. Now, I'm being ultra generous to Gamma Jack by saying we're gonna use Iron Man from like the first Avengers on down. Yeah, it's over. I'm more than certain that suit can withstand Gamma Jack's laser beam or his radiation beam. This suit can definitely tank it. So his greatest ability won't even work against Iron Man. And then remember, Gamma Jack is a kind of a glass cannon. So Iron Man has a big enough arsenal. He's smart enough and agile enough to definitely deal with them. Yeah, there's nothing Gamma Jack can do against it. Like, I'm trying to find some win comp for Gamma Jack against Iron Man, but there just really isn't really a big win comp for this situation. Like, Iron Man can just tank his attacks, and Iron Man has everything in the world to defeat him. Yeah, it's an OMM, guys. Last but certainly not least, probably the most sparked up conversation when it comes down to talking about Gamma Jack, and that's going to be Homelander. Could Homelander beat Gamma Jack? Okay, so I said that Gamma Jack would probably beat Soulja Boy, and it would be a mid-diff W. Soulja Boy is a character who is comparable to Homelander, but he's not stronger than Homelander. So what does that mean for Homelander in case of being Gamma Jack? Well, here's the thing. There's a statement about Homelander, and I talk about this anytime I do videos scaling Homelander, whatever the fuck, where they say that there's no man-made weapon that can be forged against Homelander. If you want to take that statement literally, then that can also mean possibly atomic bombs, meaning the Homelander is so strong he can just tank atomic bombs, which, that means Gamma Jack's whole ability, Homelander can just flat out tank. Now, it's a statement, and it's kind of not completely confirmed, rather how literal that statement means if Homelander can just flat out take fucking nuclear bombs. If you want to take, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this 2 different ways. We're going to talk about if you're one of the people who believe that statement to be literal, and that Homelander can literally just flat out tank nuclear bombs and shit like that, and take nuclear warfare, then there's absolutely nothing Gamma Jack can do, because that's kind of Gamma Jack's entire thing. Homelander can fly too. Homelander has laser beams too. Homelander is stronger. Homelander is faster. I mean, Homelander's speed feat in season 1 is incredibly underrated. The fact he was able to speed blitz and get Butcher the baby out before a bomb exploded is kind of insane, to be honest. So faster, stronger, has laser beams, is literally capable of tanking Gamma Jack's only and greatest attack, and Gamma Jack is a glass cannon. Yeah, in that case, I'm not gonna lie to you, I do think that it will probably be an OMFG. I do think that. Oh shit. Yeah, I do think it would be an OMFG. And a lot of people tend to shit on Homelander on the internet, talk about how Homelander gets ass beat by a majority of superheroes, which is true. But I'm one of the ones that's like, okay, yes, Homelander would get his ass beat by a lot of superheroes, but there's a small amount that Homelander could legitimately fuck over. Now, that's if you take the statement literally of Homelander is no man-made weapon can be forged against him. Now, if you're gonna say that no, that statement is not literal, and probably nuclear warfare could very well defeat Homelander, which maybe even if like Homelander weakened, like radiation and nuclear explosions can damage Homelander, I think at most it will probably go from OMFG to a Gamma Jack loses, because again Homelander is vastly physically stronger than, and keep in mind Gamma Jack is a glass cannon. Look at his indestructibility, it is incredibly low. For a reminder, Frozone, which I don't even know. Frozone must have like gave whoever made these files some neck to lie. He must have gave him some fucking neck to lie for him, because I don't even know how the fuck his indestructibility is even this high. Because I don't remember a single scene where like Frozone pretty much has the durability of maybe at maximum and above average human. Okay, and somehow, some way, Gamma Jack's indestructibility is not only lower than Frozone's, but incredibly lower than Frozone. I'm pretty sure if I was to punch Gamma Jack in his kidney, he'll probably die. So Homelander is still vastly faster, vastly physically stronger, has the laser beams, and yes, maybe if he can be damaged by the radiation blast, he still is doable to the point it won't just one tap him. So Homelander was still, I think even if you don't take the statement literal, it would go from an OMFG to a Gamma Jack loses. But I do think that if you take the statement that he can survive nuclear warfare, then yeah, it's going to be an OMFG. But at the same time though, does it really make sense if Homelander is an OMFG but Itadori? Here, we'll do this. Yeah, that seems better. That kind of sort of just seems better to me, honestly. Yeah. I'm actually okay with the way this looks. This makes me feel good. Anyways, all right. Let me know in the comment section down below. Which one of these characters do you think could or could not be Gamma Jack? And while you're down there, hit the subscribe button. This helps me, but it helps you too. Why? So you see content similar to this one. If you guys did subscribe me, I appreciate it a lot. If you guys didn't, hey, I guess we'll just part ways. Either way, I'm out to keep it easy. I'm going. Peace.
That's all it is, man. Leap of faith.